First, what we're going to do is we're going to want to import our tracks, our different audio tracks into our project. And so we can do this just by opening the folder where they're located and then clicking on them and dragging them into the Audacity workspace. You can see now they're all loaded. There's a separate track for each different sound clip, so you can see each one is a different length. Each track is also a stereo track in this case, so you can see there's a left and a right channel for each track. So it looks like there's 8 separate tracks. Depending upon the audio that you import, you might have stereo or you might have mono. Both are fine. Stereo simply means that there might be a little bit different sound in the left-hand channel than in the right-hand channel. And so sometimes that's beneficial. But if you just see one channel for each track, that's fine. No need to panic. And so we can play through and listen to it by hitting the play button here. Hello everyone and welcome to my podcast. Today I have a and right now we're hearing everything all together and it's kind of annoying. There's a lot of things going on at the same time. And so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start organizing. You can see we have the titles of the tracks here on the side. And so here we have Tim speaking. That's Tim's speaking part. And so I can move this up because that's the first thing I'm going to really focus on. So I can move it up along the queue by clicking on that little down arrow and moving it all the way to the top. And then you can see here I have Jim's speaking part, and in the beginning he doesn't really say anything until he gets introduced a little ways into the segment. And so I can kind of ignore that for now, and so I'm going to mute his track, so I'm not going to be able to hear it as we play through. So that's going to make things a little bit easier to focus on. But you can see here I have the clap at the beginning. That makes it so that we can sync it up later, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And so one thing that I want to talk about is being able to focus on the pieces that you want to. And there's a couple different features in Audacity for you to control that. And so if I want to just focus on these first 2 bits, the interviewer and the background music, I can go ahead and mute the other tracks. So I've already muted the interviewee. I can also mute that outdoor sound, that ambient noise. There's another feature though that also kind of enables you to isolate one track at a time. And so instead of muting individual tracks, I can choose the solo button. So now I have everything selected so I can hear it, but when I hit the solo button, I can only hear the one that I click the solo button on. And so that really lets you focus on just that one track. So it's kind of the opposite of the mute, but it's a very handy, quick way to just isolate one track that you want to listen to. So another useful tool when you're dealing with the playback is being able to skip around on different parts of the track. And so you can see if you just click on the timeline at the top, it'll move the playhead, but also you can use the space bar to stop or play the track. So if you ever want to stop it, just hit the space bar, and if you want to skip ahead, just go ahead and click anywhere on the timeline.